respectfully. Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
Brittney Griner's viral attack on Caitlin Clark sparked massive backlash, and many felt the WNBA stayed silent. But then, karma seemed to strike in a way no one expected. Before we continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Most people watching still haven't subscribed, and your support truly helps the channel. Now, let's get into what happened.
And Atlanta Dream played. Indiana Fever is where Caitlin Clark plays. Atlanta Dream is where Brittney Griner plays. Now you tell me what it looks like Brittney Griner is saying here.
For the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
For a little bit of context, this was in the fourth quarter after Brittney Griner fouled out against Caitlin Clark, and Indiana Fever would go on to win by 5. Now I'm going to tell you what I think she said. Let's play it back. Looks to me like she is saying trash and then calling Caitlin Clark a bleep white girl. Just a reminder, this is who Joe Biden traded for the Russian merchant of death. So many WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark so much when she is the best thing that could have happened to the league. And she's not the best thing that happened to the league because she's white.
The league made a move that could completely change Brittney Griner's future. After weeks of criticism over how the WNBA handled the controversy, many believe the situation has reached a turning point. Now, the league is finally facing pressure to respond, and the latest decision has sparked major reactions across the basketball world. The outcome could have serious consequences, and everyone is waiting to see what happens next.
I want to get people never to watch the WNBA. This is an amazing way to do it. If the league is going to be rooted in this sort of nastiness with regard to its only real star, good luck to them. Well, folks, the left has a real problem in the United States. They've spent the last several decades talking about how racism is an endemic problem in American life. And there's a problem with that problem, which is there's not.
Let's start with what sparked this entire controversy. During a game against the Indiana Fever, Brittney Griner fouled out, and moments later, a video appeared to show her making a remark that quickly spread across social media. That clip immediately fueled debate and put the spotlight on both Griner and the WNBA.
Was caught on tape during a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark. I mean, pretty obviously doing so.
Ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Brittney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course, if Caitlin Clark had ever suggested the same in reverse, using black as opposed to white in that sentence, that'd be the end of her WNBA career. But Brittney Griner is going strong.
The video quickly became the center of attention. Many people pointed to the footage and believed it spoke for itself. But instead of acting right away, critics accused the WNBA of avoiding the issue and trying to calm the backlash. As the debate grew, the pressure only increased, and what many thought would fade away soon turned into an even bigger controversy.
What else happened to everybody else?
I mean, I know there's always consequence to actions. You know, what I did, I already know that I was going to get, some time for that. And, I respect, I got 3 games. Okay. Not disputing that at all. Do I think that it should have been 3 across the board? Boom, everybody involved in it, 3-3-3. I think that would have been, honestly, fair. I would have been happy today with that. Not today. And it's not because of my suspension.
This wasn't some one-time slip-up. What we're watching unfold with Brittney Griner is the result of months, maybe years, of behavior finally catching up with her, and the league simply ran out of reasons to look away. Think about it. This is the same player who complained about crowd noise, of all things, because fans were actually showing up and paying attention to the sport. This is the same player who walked out of a foreign prison a free woman, only to turn around and throw racially charged shots at her fellow American athletes. At some point, the entitlement stops being ignorable, and that point just arrived. Brittney Griner is out here playing a whole different game right now, and honestly, this is exactly the kind of moment nobody wanted to touch, until she opened her mouth. The clip is everywhere. The whole internet is talking about it. During a matchup against the Indiana Fever, cameras caught her making a comment that lit the internet on fire within minutes. Let's actually hear what she said, because the reaction says everything. She was mocking the crowd, laughing about the noise level, and calling the atmosphere something close to disruptive. Read that again. A player complaining that fans are too loud, too excited, too present. In her own words, she described it as this commotion, this loud rumbling, people just sitting there, watching on purpose. She called it disruptive. She called it, and I'm not making this up, a freaking game that they pay you money to play. Let that sink in for a second. She's frustrated that people are watching the game she's paid to play. Now comes the price tag, and it's steep. This isn't just a missed check or two. Griner is staring down lost sponsorships, canceled endorsement deals, and a public image that may never fully recover. The financial hit is real, and it's only getting started. Here's the part that stings the most. The very swap that brought her home also sent back a convicted arms dealer. That's the trade that was made for her freedom. And instead of gratitude, what have we gotten? Resentment, bitterness, attitude toward the same country that fought to bring her back. Every dollar she loses now is a direct receipt for that attitude. But here's where this gets almost poetic. The timing could not be worse for her, and could not be better for the league's integrity. The WNBA is in the middle of the biggest growth spurt it has ever seen, largely thanks to Caitlin Clark. New fans, brand new eyeballs, sponsors lining up who never cared before. And none of those new fans signed up to watch racially charged trash talk from a veteran who should know better by now. So the business side won. Plain and simple. Protecting a problem player used to make sense when nobody outside the sport was watching closely. That math has changed completely. Clark brought in more attention and more money than this league has ever had, and suddenly protecting Griner became far more expensive than punishing her. People are stunned by this suspension because for years, it felt like Griner was untouchable. She said questionable things, she stirred controversy, she carried herself with an attitude of nothing sticks to me, and for a long time, nothing did. Now we're seeing proof that even that kind of protection has a ceiling. And here's the twist nobody's talking about enough. The rule that allowed this suspension. It was sitting right there in the standard player contract the entire time. Nobody bothered to enforce it. The league always had the power to step in. They just chose not to use it, until ignoring it started costing them money and reputation. So really, the biggest story here isn't the suspension itself. It's how long the league waited to actually use power it already had. And now that the moment finally arrived, it feels less like punishment and more like long overdue justice. Justice arrived late, but late doesn't mean weak. If anything, the wait made this moment hit even harder. Right now, Nafisa Collier's teammates and her loyal fan base are scrambling to shield her. But every time someone pushes them for real answers, their story falls apart. They throw out excuses. She's a veteran. Cut her some slack. The footage wasn't clear enough. This suspension is too harsh. None of that holds up. Not one bit. Because the plain truth is this. She was caught live, on camera, making racist comments about the biggest star the league has ever seen. You can spin a story 1,000 different ways, but you cannot spin away something the entire world watched happen in real time. The tape doesn't lie. For weeks, Caitlin Clark's fans have been demanding somebody take action. And now that it's finally happened, the reaction has been loud and mostly relieved. People started connecting dots. How quickly the league jumped to defend Brittney Griner during her own controversies, while brushing off complaints from Fever fans about how their star was being treated. After watching what felt like one-sided treatment for so long, this suspension finally feels like the scales are balancing out. A lot of basketball fans had quietly started wondering if the league even believed in the values it kept preaching. So yeah, there's relief in the air right now. But this isn't just about one player. This sets the tone for everything moving forward. It tells every single athlete in that league. Your name, your stats, your history. None of it makes you untouchable. That's exactly the kind of standard leagues need if they want fans, sponsors, and media to actually trust them. Speaking of media, they're not walking away from this clean either. Reporters are getting called out hard, and honestly, they deserve it. In the beginning, a bunch of outlets barely touched the story or brushed the comments off like they were nothing. Now those same outlets have to explain why they stayed quiet for so long. The gap between what fans expected and what the media actually delivered has never looked this obvious. And it's not just her reputation taking a hit. Collier's bank account is bleeding too. Endorsement deals are vanishing quietly. Speaking gigs are getting canceled one after another. Future opportunities are drying up fast. This is the price tag that comes with getting caught saying something racist on live television. And honestly, corporate sponsors don't play around with this stuff anymore. This whole situation also exposes something bigger. The league's big, no room for hate campaign looks a lot like empty marketing right now. They launched it with big statements and bold promises, then completely looked the other way the moment one of their own players broke that exact promise. It took outside pressure, fans, media, public backlash to force the league's hand. That tells you everything about how deep their commitment actually went. And here's the twist that makes this whole thing even more ironic. Remember the backdrop here. The U.S. government traded a convicted arms dealer just to bring Griner home. And this is how it's repaid, with racist remarks aimed at fellow Americans. That level of disrespect is wild. So when karma finally catches up, it almost feels earned. For other players around the league, this sends a clear message. Nobody's protected anymore. If you've been getting away with things behind the scenes, you might be next. That fear alone could clean up a lot of bad behavior across the league. And the timing here isn't random either. This all went down right as major sponsorship deals and broadcast contracts were being negotiated. Suddenly, defending bad behavior became more expensive than punishing it. When the money's on the line like that, doing the right thing stops being optional. It becomes the only smart business move left. Everything changed when the league finally made its move, and the reaction was immediate. After weeks of criticism, many fans felt the WNBA had no choice but to respond. Social media exploded, with countless people calling it the first real sign of accountability. For many, this wasn't just about one player. It was about whether the league would actually stand by the values it often talks about. As more attention poured in, the pressure became impossible to ignore. Reports claimed officials reviewed every available detail before reaching their decision. Whether anyone agrees or disagrees, one thing became clear. This controversy refused to disappear. Instead, it kept growing, forcing the league to face questions it could no longer avoid. Now, every team is watching closely. Coaches, executives, and players understand that moments like this can change careers overnight. Front offices are thinking twice about protecting star players if off-court controversies begin to outweigh their value on the court. Sponsors are watching just as carefully, and no brand wants to be connected to headlines that damage its image. For Caitlin Clark, many believe the league's response finally showed that the situation was being taken seriously. Fans who had been demanding action for weeks saw this as a turning point, while others argued it should have happened much sooner. Either way, the conversation has become much bigger than a single incident. The impact doesn't stop there. This decision could shape how similar situations are handled across professional sports in the future. If the rules are applied equally, it may restore trust. If not, the criticism will quickly return. For Brittney Griner, the fallout could be lasting. Questions about her future are already growing, and many believe this controversy may affect how her career is remembered. Instead of discussing only her achievements, people are now debating the incident that placed her at the center of one of the league's biggest controversies. Finally, this story proves that no player stays protected forever when public pressure reaches its peak. One moment can change everything, and the consequences can last far longer than anyone expects. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the biggest sports stories are only getting started.